All right, let's just get right into it. We need to have a serious talk about failure. Because chances are, everything you've ever been taught to believe about it, that it's the end, that it's something to be ashamed of, that it's the opposite of success, well, it's completely wrong. I mean, we've all been there, right? You hit a wall, a project just completely collapses, you get that rejection letter, and in that moment, this one huge question just looms over everything. Is this it? Is it all over for me? No, 1,000 times no. It's not. In fact, thinking that failure is the end is probably the biggest mistake you could ever make. And this single idea, this reframes absolutely everything. See, failure isn't the enemy you have to avoid at all costs. It's a mandatory ingredient. It's a stepping stone on the path to success. You don't succeed despite your failures, you succeed because of them. Look, don't just take my word for it. Let's look at the proof. I mean, every single successful person you can possibly think of has a whole history of failures that literally paved their way to the top. Let's take Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. His big dream was to be a fighter pilot. He faced a ton of rejections, and you know what? That dream didn't come true. For most people, that would have been the end of the story right there. But he didn't give up. He worked his tail off, he pivoted, and that failure actually put him on a completely different path, a path to becoming the missile man of India, and eventually the president of India. So that initial rejection wasn't a dead end at all. It was just a redirection to an even greater destiny. Okay, now let's talk about this number, 1,000. Can you imagine trying something over 1,000 times and getting it wrong every single time? Well, this is roughly the number of attempts it took one of history's greatest inventors to create something that would literally light up the entire world. And of course, that inventor was Thomas Edison. This quote just perfectly captures the mindset, doesn't it? He didn't see 1,000 failures, he saw 1,000 steps in a process of elimination. Every wrong way was just another lesson that got him one step closer to the right way. So how do we actually apply this? Well, this mindset isn't just a feel-good attitude. It's an actual, repeatable process. There's a real formula here that turns all those setbacks into fuel for your fire. So forget everything you've heard about overnight success or some kind of secret trick. The real formula is grounded in this principle of learning from what goes wrong. So, you ready for it? It all comes down to this really simple loop. First, you fail. That's the entry point. That's step one. Then you learn. You absolutely have to extract the lesson and figure out why it didn't work. Next, you improve, using that lesson to get smarter and better. And finally, and this is the most important step of all, you repeat. You go again. You see, success isn't some destination. It's a cycle of trying and trying again. Ultimately, this whole thing really just boils down to a single choice. It's the choice you make in that moment right after you fail. And it's a choice that separates the people who eventually succeed from those who don't. And here it is. This is the core difference. Everybody fails. I mean, everyone. The defining characteristic of a winner isn't that they have some kind of perfect record. It's that they have unstoppable persistence. They simply refuse to quit. So, let's bring all this back to you right now. You've hit a setback. You're feeling that sting of failure. But now you know it's not the end. You know it's part of the process. So the only question left, the one that really matters, is right there on the screen. What's your next move?